Usha Uthup is joining us on this broadcast. Ma'am, thank you for joining us here in India today. I'm sure this is a very difficult time for you. You're someone who's corresponded closely with Bappi Da. And if you can just relive for us your favorite memory of Bappi Da, what is it about him, his charisma, that stood out so much for all of us?
I can't even begin to tell you how devastated I am with this news. It's just impossible to believe that, we're talking about him in the past. In the past, about Bappi Da, it's impossible, really. And it's just, I think I must be one of the few, who work so extensively with him. And he's given me so many wonderful, wonderful hit songs in the past 40 years. I don't think I have a single song list without his songs in it, like Hari Om Hari and Koi Yahan Nache Nache and Ramba Ho. My God, without these songs, Nata Bandi, without these songs, I mean, there is no question of, a show, really. And he brought so much joy to everybody, such a simpleton. The thing that stands out for me the most is the fact that he is such a simpleton, really. And I feel sad that, people really didn't take him so seriously, even though he's composed such amazing pieces like Chalte Chalte or Chiro Dini, Tumi Je Amar, or Mana Ho Tum by Dr. K.J. Yesudas is one of everybody's favorites. I mean, he's really a trailblazer and a trendsetter. And for sure, as I've always said, whether people want to accept or not, I don't know, but I always said it, that he is truly the disco king. I mean, he set the trend for disco in India. Really, yes. R.D. Burman gave me lots and lots of hit songs, but it was Bappi Da whose songs I sing every day. Even during the COVID times, every Zoom show that I did, every virtual show that I did, whether it be in America or whether it be in Australia, wherever, I had to include Rambaho in the list, no matter what happened, Rambaho and Hari Om Hari. And, what can one say about someone like this? And really, people thought that he was just doing these kind of songs all the time. No, but his contribution is so huge, so huge. Look at all the stars he's worked with. Look at all the, like we did so many films maybe which were not, successful, but the songs, the music was so popular. And one can't deny that. I mean, he's just absolutely the most fabulous disco king. And I often used to say on my shows that today I've got no gold chains on me because I gave everything to Bappi Da to wear because he gave me so many hit songs. I say it as a joke, but now when I think about it, there's so much one has to give him back for. I mean, every musician today, every show, even though I sing it every day, I'm trying to do something better with the song, or not better with the song, better relive it and reboot it and rediscover the happiness in Rambaho. And it always happens. It's really magical. It's really magical when one has to sing Hari Om Hari. Now, of course, it will always be tinted with that sadness, but the happiness is that he truly was the disco king. And whether people want to accept it or not, I'm not sure. It's been it's been devastation from morning, really, to hear this terrible news about him. And look at him, wherever he went, I mean, he had this persona about him, so simple in him. He just believed in how he looked and how he had to look, and with all the gold chains on him. There is an anecdote which I'd like to share with you, which was so amazing. There was a show called, I think it was called Yehi Hai Zindagi or something, where you talk about the artist. And, I was the one surprise artist for him to go on his set. It was done by Farooq Sheikh. And I went on. I had taken, I was staying at the Taj, I think, at that time, in Bombay. So I asked him to give me a hardware chain, a huge thing, which they put on the locks, on the doors.
Yeah.
And so they gave me that. I said, I'll return it by evening after the shooting. And I walked in with that and I said, Bapida, I can't afford the gold. I would love to give you something like this as gold for you. And I gave him this hardware chain. He such a simple human being, He accepted it and didn't see he couldn't see immediately the fun. And when he did, how much he laughed. It was so wonderful. The sets and everybody is simple, honest, really, really amazing human being that way. And he always had such good words for all artists. And he was a good chap, as they would say. He's a good chap. And he always wanted to, his daughter and myself, we share the same birthday, Rima and myself. He always wanted to promote his children, which was so beautiful. Papa and his son, and it was always. And I did some songs with him as well, with his son. But my throat gets dry just thinking about him. Really, he's been such a trailblazer. But it always makes me feel. I wonder if he ever had any premonition or ever thought that, that it would be cut short so fast. I wonder if he thought about it. Because about 6 months ago when he rang me up and he said that, are you moving out? I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I've been staying at home for the past 1.5 years. So he said, nahi, 2-3 gaane hain aapke liye. So I said, huh? And I said to him, please don't give it to anybody else. He said, nahi, main thehrunga. Hamari jaisi jodi to hai nahi. He would always say that. So we were that jodi, And he said he would keep it for me. And I'm so sad. That, So I wondered when he said that to me, or, whether he really thought that, whether he thought, or maybe it won't happen, or I don't know whether he had any premonition. God knows. Oh God, please be kind. Please let him rest in peace. And let him do his disco music up in the heavens with all the people who have left us and gone. Yeah.
I'm so glad, ma'am, that you shared these memories because it's given us a glimpse into Bappi Da as a person. You started off your conversation saying, I can't believe we're referring to him in the past tense. All that I can say is that he was, is, and will be always the disco king for us, for all of us, because of his music, and the melody king too, because as you mentioned, his legacy wasn't just restricted to some of his biggest disco numbers. Some of the memories you've mentioned, ma'am, really stand out for us because it explains to us and gives us a sense and a hint of Bappi Da, the person. Because for us, when we watch his concerts, his interviews, what really stands out was his charisma and his passion for music. Where really did that stem from? The fact that, he always sang and performed with such gusto.
But, don't you agree with me when you say that, it's so sad? Don't you agree with me when I say
Completely.
that, it's so sad that unfortunately people really didn't take him so seriously, even though he had such beautiful melody songs as well. But what's this big thing about doing melody and doing commercial successful song like Rambaho? What's this big thing? What is this preconception that we have that's got to be melody? It's not like that in the West, and that's the way he thought. Really. Oh, what's this big, huge thing? Music is music, as far as I'm concerned. It makes people happy, makes you happy, makes the world happy, makes the musicians happy, and all the musicians, so many musicians and singers are earning their roti kapda makan because of his songs, So there's no running away from that fact. But I always took him seriously because I knew if there was a hit song coming for me, I always used to say it, I still say it. Bappi Da, I'm not asking you for 10 songs in a month or something. Give me one song that will give me 375 shows. And it's been more than 375 shows, I can tell you. Rambaho or Koi Yahan Nache Nache has been, for 40 years I've been singing every day his songs, every day. And he knows it too. He knows it, that I was one of the few who really in his lifetime, not just appreciated, admired, respect, and, contributed also to his music, because he would ask me, how would you have sung this particular line? And I would say to him, okay, this is the way I would have sung it. Like there was a song called Love, Ooh, La Fever, Oh, Dorothy, Yahan Jo Bhi Hai, Kisi Ka Hai Lover. And, he said, how would you say the word, And I said, I would say it just the way I would say it, because it's the whole sentence is in English. And, he would just leave it to me. It was so marvelous. I said, Yahan Jo Bhi Hai, Kisi Ka Hai Lover. I would say it like that. And he'd be so thrilled. He'd be, coming out of the music console room and say, fantastic, fantastic. And, simple. I would just describe him as simple, honest, and so true to his music. Yeah, and he just wanted to make people happy, and that was it, through his music.
Usha Uthup, ma'am, thank you. Thank you for that extremely moving tribute. You mentioned how maybe Bappi Da never got his due, but what we will make it a point today is to ensure that we remember him as the legend that he truly was, and how he changed the industry, how he changed music in the country. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us here in India Today and sharing that extremely, extremely touching tribute. We've all, of course, now got reminiscing really on Bappi Da's biggest hits, about the person also that he was.